Hello, my name is Bryce Van Ray. I'm a divorced single dad, father of 5 kids. Welcome to my show. Hello and welcome back to my show. I hope you had a great few days. It's the end of the week. And I hope everybody's going to have the next few days. I hope it's going to be great for you. I'm going to tell you right here where I live in Massachusetts. Oh my goodness. It is chilly. It is so chilly. It's unbelievable. I mean, it was snowing just a little bit last night. Got some ice on the car windshield. But if you live in, like, I guess, Florida or California, you're all set. You get, the only snow you get is sunshine. It just shines on you all day long. So you guys are lucky. But right now, I'm going to tell you what the show is going to be about. We have to admit mistakes to our child. Yes, when we are adults, we definitely have to admit our mistakes. This is something that's very important. But before we get to that, let's do the thought of the day. Every day is a new opportunity to spread kindness and make someone's day a little brighter. That's right. Every day is an opportunity. Who wants to make somebody feel sad? Who wants some sadness in their life? Who wants to make somebody feel mad? Isn't it better to greet somebody with a smile, to say, hey, you are very special to me. I was thinking about you. Here's a smile. Here's a handshake. In fact, here's a hug. So I'm definitely going to tell all of you, every day is a new opportunity to spread kindness and make someone's day a little brighter. Just like the sun shines down on you. It's warm. It makes you feel good. It brightens your day. It lets you see in the darkest places. And in our darkest places, that sunlight could be a smile, a hug, or some kindness. Now, on with the show. We are parents, and unfortunately, as parents, we are going to make mistakes. And I'm going to tell you something. We have to admit these mistakes to our kids. Now, let's turn back the clock. Turn way back the clock to the Wayback Machine, I like to say. Did you want to be a parent? Yes, I'm sure we all did. And that's something that's been on our minds forever. I mean, when I was a kid, I remember being in the, first grade. I was in the back of the class or the front, and I said, oh my goodness, I can't wait to be a parent one day. I couldn't wait. I was so excited. I saw my parents and I said, this is a great opportunity. It's so exciting. I can't wait. I cannot wait. So, as time would tell, I became a parent one day of 5 kids. 5. Can you imagine that? Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 wonderful kids. So, the thing about being a parent is you have to teach your kids. And what do we teach them? Well, we can teach our kids love. You know, you always want to tell your child, I love you, I'm proud of you, you know, what you do is great. And you could show your kids love by being nice to them, spreading that kindness, like I said. You know, kids like a little hug every now and then, a kiss on the cheek, some appreciation, something to say, hey, I love you, I appreciate you. You also want to teach your kids responsibility. Responsibility is very, very important. I mean, that's why kids have chores, so they can learn at a very young age responsibility. If you tell your child when they're young, they're really young, you say, hey, your job is to make sure the bathroom trash can is dumped in the big one, in the kitchen. And every day you come home, you say, did you do your chore? Did you dump the trash can? You did? Oh, thank you so much. You are so awesome. Give them a piece of candy, some cake, but appreciation. Or you say, hey, listen, your chore today is going to be this. We're going to learn how to make your bed. And when we learn to make your bed, you make it nice and neat like this. And I know you're small, but try it. And wouldn't you know, sooner or later they'll be able to make their bed. That's responsibility. You tell your child, hey, listen, I want you to pick up your room and pick up your clothes and your toys when you're done, or at the end of the night. And before you go to bed, brush your teeth. And if they listen, they'll do it. They'll know responsibility. And you keep adding on just a little bit of responsibility here and there, just a little bit, so you don't over-inundate them. You want to make sure your kids know responsibility, and it's something they look forward to because there's a positive reward in it. You also want to teach your kids character. Character is a big thing. You don't want your kid lying or cheating or stealing. You want to make sure they're going to have character, that they're going to be a straight-up person. You want to make sure they're going to be loyal, have some kind of loyalty, some belief system, something that they care about, something that they cherish. I try to cherish my character. Character's a big, big thing. And your kids, you want to teach them. You got to say, hey, listen, you are a pocket of life. And you want to fill those pockets with many things: love, happiness, responsibility, character, loyalty, beliefs, and the list can go on. You can fill those little cups up in your life with anything you want, but make sure you tell your kids, and you can do it too, make sure you fill them up with positive things. Nothing negative. Nothing. And that brings us to today. You will make mistakes, and you have to apologize if you're wrong to your child. Apologize. Because in life, we will make mistakes. There's no doubt about it. That happens. We are going to make mistakes. And parents should really admit when they're wrong. They need to learn that mistakes doesn't mean that you're bad. A mistake doesn't mean that you're stupid. It doesn't mean you're going to be unloved. It just means you're human. And by admitting your mistake, when you're a parent, this is what you're teaching your child. When you admit your mistakes, you can show your child that you too make mistakes. And you too, when you make mistakes, you know how to deal with it. You apologize. You can continue establishing the connection and building your relationship by working on communication and listening skills with your child. Because if this is a relationship between you and your child, hey, you're gonna make the mistakes. If you say you'll never make a mistake, that's a mistake right there. You really can't. You make mistakes by things we do. We'll do things out of mistakes. If your child says, hey, can I go to the mall? And you say, no. But you don't have a reason. You have to talk to him. It might be a mistake if you don't listen. You have to listen to your child. We make mistakes if we're going to go somewhere we say we don't. But you can say things that are hurtful to people. That are hurtful. That hurts people's feelings. That's mean. That's a mistake. And if you realize you're doing that, oh my goodness, you must apologize. You must reflect back on yourself and say, is that something I want to do? Do I put out a positive vibe in the world, or is that something negative I threw out there? It's a choice. There comes a time we make a choice to admit our mistakes or not admit the mistakes. You ever take something that wasn't yours by mistake? You have to admit the mistakes. And then you try to justify it. You shouldn't justify anything. If you make a mistake, apologize. Some people say, kids say, how do you deal with the parent who argues all the time? Well, when you're a parent and you argue, the best thing to do is to stay out of the argument. For instance, if you go somewhere else in the house or you go outside, you can avoid the argument without saying something that you might regret. But the kids should also know it's not their job to be an arbitrator or referee. But they should probably wait till things calm down, just like the parents. Parents should say, hey, I'm very upset. I don't want to say something I might regret. Because parents know when they cross that line, but the anger might get the better of them. It really might. You don't want to have a kind of a toxic relationship. That's something we definitely don't want to do. And if you argue with your kids or you're hurting your kids' feelings, I mean, regular hostile or abusive arguing undermines the safety a child feels and can leave them emotionally insecure and uncertain of their present and future. Did you understand what I just said? Let me repeat that. A regular hostile or abusive arguing parent can undermine the safety a child feels and can leave that child, that's right, that child emotionally insecure and uncertain of their present and future. You don't want to do that to your child. You want your child to feel like they have self-worth. You don't want to sit there, cut them down and say, hey, no, I'm not going to listen. You want to listen to your child. You want to make sure your child feels like, hey, what they have to say is important. What they have to say is something worthy of listening to. You're a parent. Words you don't want to say, I hate you. You don't want, that's not nice. That's not good. That's not good. That's abusive. That's insulting. That's wrong. You never say I hate you to your child. And you shouldn't. If you do, you got to do the right thing. You got to sit there and you have to apologize. You have to say, I'm sorry. I was out of line. I should not have said that. I am so sorry. Something else you don't want to say to your child is you're stupid. Who wants to hear they're stupid? That's like one of the worst things you can say to a child. You're stupid. If you say it, you want to apologize. You want to say, hey, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I called you stupid. But I guess the honest thing would be to say is, when I said it, I meant it at the time, but I realized I was wrong. And I should not have said it. I mean, don't sit there and say, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said it. No, you say, hey, own it. You need to own what you say. If you say, I hate you, if you say you're stupid, you need to say, listen, I'm going to be honest with you. I was angry. At the time, I meant it. I reflected on it. I'm only human. That's not an excuse. Really, that's not an excuse. It's not an excuse that I'm a parent and I should talk to you like that. But I'm going to tell you one thing. After thinking about it, it did hurt me too. It hurt that I said something like that, and I am so sorry. I am so sorry those words came out of my mouth, and I hurt your feelings because I never want you to feel like that. That's how you take care of something like that. You want to make sure your kids feel, hey, they said sorry. They meant it. It was from the heart. It brings us to what I have to say today. So recently, my daughter, she lives with me. She's 27. She'll be 28 this year. I think of my daughter as a little girl. She's my firstborn. And being my firstborn, I mean, she's the daughter I have loved the longest, because I've known her the longest, 27 years. I'm going to be almost 28 years. I've seen her from the day she was born to right now. We have a lifetime of experience, good and bad, because I'm going to be honest with you. We do argue all the time. All the time. For some reason, we just don't click, and we argue. And then as a parent, that's going to happen. But you got to learn how to deal with it. You have to figure it out. And nobody has a real answer, but it's good to talk about it. And I talk to you about it. You can listen. You could probably learn something. You can learn that you're not alone, that you may have a kid who you do tend to argue with more than the others. And I'm not going to say whose fault it is, because nobody knows. It just happens. But you're a family. And if you love each other, you deal with it. You understand. And stay out of each other's way, I guess. But anyways, recently I had a situation. So my daughter tells me, we have a pretty big house, and one of the rooms is, without getting into it, it's like a storage room. Shouldn't be, but it is. And I'm very upset about that, because I don't want my house being junked up. I wanted my house to be, every room to be cleaned out, nice. So if somebody came, they could have a bedroom and this and that. But unfortunately, and this is where the argument probably comes in, it turned into a junk room. a storage room. And thinking about that room pisses me off. It upsets me so much. I get so pissed off, it's not even funny. So my daughter comes down, and she's in a good mood. She's happy. I don't know if she texted me first, but this is what I remember. I can go back and look, but I think she came down. And she goes, Dad, I noticed in the back bedroom, the storage place, that there's a white chair in it. Now already, my blood pressure's gone through the roof, because every time I think of that room, I get pissed off. I'm like, you jucked that room up. I'm like, you did this to me. I'm getting pissed off right now just thinking about it. So she did come down very nicely. She said, Dad, I saw a white chair that's in bad shape, and I would like to reupholster it and make it into an ottoman or an ottoman chair. I don't really know what that is. I guess it's some expensive thing. Or she wanted to reupholster it. Now, this chair, I'm going to be honest with you, it looks bad. It looks like somebody threw dirt on it. It was a white chair. It's beautiful. Sit-back chair. It has these wooden legs on it. Nice chair at one time. But it looks like the cats tore part of it up. Looks like just looks like it's in such bad shape. So what happened was I said, okay, go on. What are you getting at? She goes, I'd like to have that chair to reupholster it. What do you think? Can I have it? I go, no. She goes, why? Now here comes the parent, the angry parent. I'm thinking in my head, you're going to ask me why. You're going to question me about my stuff in my own house, something that's not even yours. What? I'm thinking to myself, why am I even answering you? I'm the parent, you're the child. Now this is the frame I'm in, guys. You might get this way too, so learn from this. I go, Maya, I'm very reluctant to let you have that chair because I like it. That's a chair I want to have. I don't want it messed up. She goes, what are you going to use it for? Now here we go. She's asking me. She's questioning me like I'm on trial. I'm like, why is she asking me what I'm going to do with the chair? Who does this girl think she is asking me, questioning me? I was minding my own business. She's asking me stuff. Okay. I said, I like the chair. One day I'm going to be sitting in it, doing my own thing. She says, Dad, you're a pack rat. You're not even using the chair. I'm like, what? Well, she nailed that on the head. I am a pack rat. She did nail it on the head. But I didn't want her to have this chair. I'm like, what? And now I'm getting fumed here. Remember, the room where she turned into a storage room. I'm pissed. She wants a chair that's not hers. I'm a pack rat, so I do want the chair in the future. And I'm so pissed off. I was pissed. She started getting pissed off. And then I said, I said very calm, Maya, you have a habit of not completing things. And that triggered her. She was pissed. She goes, give me one example. And I said, you're going to throw it back at me, because usually I tell people when they say something about me, I say, give me 3 examples. She goes, give me one example. And she was getting mad, and I said, you know what? I'm upset now. I can't even give you one example. I just know you got to have it of not completing things. She goes, one example, just one. All you got to do, Dad, is give me one example. And I'm getting really pissed off, and there's silence. And I said, Maya, you just don't complete stuff. There was an awkward silence. It was silent for a good minute, and we're looking at each other. Painful, looking at each other. And then she gets a smile on her face, and she goes, are you just saying this to motivate me? Are you saying this because it's like reverse psychology? You're trying to motivate because I can do it, so you want to motivate me to do it? And there was a silence. I said, you know what, Maya? Fine. Take the chair. Do whatever. I really hope it gets completed. I hope it gets completed. She said, okay. And she went with her mom, I guess. She got some material, and I don't know if it was by the end of the day or if it was the next day. She had it done. She was working on this thing, and she was showing pictures in the family group chat. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. It looked like $1 million. She said, so she came down afterwards really proud and happy, and Dad, look what I did. Look what I did. And I said, wow, I said, Maya, I'm really shocked. I can't believe it. She goes, yeah, I'm thinking about doing this, like crafts, like stuff like this, because I really I really do enjoy it. And I told her, I said, you know, Maya, I was wrong. She goes, what? I said, yeah, I was wrong. I said, I truly didn't think you would do it. I thought you were just this was gonna be a project you didn't finish. I was wrong. And I said, and when you said that if I was trying to motivate you by saying that, I'll be honest with you, I wasn't trying to motivate you because I just didn't believe. I didn't believe in you. I didn't think you'd be able to do it. But I said you did do it, and I'm very proud of you. I'm shocked. I'm going to tell you something, everybody. As a parent, you have to admit when you're wrong. You have to admit it. Because there's going to be lots of times when you're wrong. You're not going to just make one mistake. I didn't believe in my child because part of it, I can make an excuse. I see her I still see her as a little baby, and I do see her as a little baby. I don't see her as a 28-year-old. I don't see my kids completing things, and they do. Probably not all my kids, but she does her best, you know. When you admit you're wrong, it's not a weak character. I think it's strong. It's a strong character somebody has. And I pride myself on my character, so I had to say I was wrong. And kids need to know that parents at times will be wrong. Because you know why? Because she is a parent now. She has a baby. Her baby's going to be 1 year old in probably about a month. And she's going to have to learn from her own experiences how to raise her kids. And by her seeing me say that, I don't believe in you right now. I don't think you can do it. But then the kid proves him wrong. She'll have that emotional thing right there to say, hey, my dad, he didn't believe in me, but I proved him wrong, and he said I was sorry. He said he was sorry. And maybe one day her son will grow up and say, hey, Mom, I want to reupholster a chair. Do you think I can have that chair up in the attic? I hope she says, yes, you can have that chair, because I believe you can do it. Unfortunately, I fell short at that moment. I fell short as a parent. I fell short in my responsibility. I have to say, I'm sorry. Sorry I have to let my baby girl go. I have to believe in my baby girl, that she can fly from the nest. She can do things on her own. I have to believe that. Because the reality is, she can do it. And I have to realize that's life. That's her life. And there's many things she's going to do. And I have to let her fly. And now, it's story time. A police officer in a small town stopped a motorist who was speeding down the main street. But officer, the man began. I can explain. Just be quiet, snapped the officer. I'm gonna let you cool your heels in jail until the chief gets back. But officer, I just want to say, and I said, be quiet. You're going to jail. A few hours later, the officer looked in on his prisoner and said, lucky for you that the chief's at his daughter's wedding. He'll be in a good mood when he gets back. Don't count on it, answered the fellow in the cell. I'm the groom. That's a funny story. I guess he should have listened to the man. I'm throwing it back like I should have listened to my daughter. So, that being said, hey, listen, everybody. I really did enjoy this podcast, and I want to thank you all for joining me today. If you enjoyed this podcast, you can download any of my past podcasts morning, noon, and night and hear it all over the internet. It'd be great if you could hear what I have to say. So that's going to bring us to the end of the show, and I want to thank all of you for listening today, and it's been great. And don't forget to be nice and talk nice to everyone you see. It's free. Don't be a jerk, and remember this one last bit of advice. Tomorrow is never promised, so don't go to bed angry at your child or anyone you love. And before you go to bed tonight, hug your child and tell them, I will love you forever, Dad. Hey, thanks for joining me here today. Let's do it again. And hey, don't forget, you can visit my website, pricevanray.com, and it will give you all my podcasts, what I'm doing, events I'm going to. And that being said, I'll see you next time here on my show. Be well, be kind, be back, peace, and I will see you later. Have a great week.